Alright, those of you tuning in after the fact, this is going to be about a 10-minute wait. Just go ahead and scroll ahead, 10 minutes roughly. I'm in the process of doing the joint rolling, and then we're going to kick right into this cannabis news. I'm going to cover the stories from across the country and the globe, if any pop up. So keep your eyes peeled for when the screen shifts. And for those of you just tuning in for the actual live stream, welcome back. I've recovered the cigars that I was out of so we could continue Blunt Talk live on Smoke to Think On from smoketothinkon.com. Nothing really going on over at the website. It's just fun to say. Okay. So, I'm gonna cook a pizza. Excellent. Excellent news. I've got a pizza in the motherfucking oven. That's a good feeling. Let's look at the camera. Look at the screen. Look at the camera. Look at the screen. Okay. So I'm just going to do one other test. See what the ambient background noise on this stream sounds like. Fuck. I wish I could do something about the ambient sound in this room. It's hard. The equipment I'm working with is not, unfortunately, top notch. All right, well, that's okay. It doesn't have to be top-notch. The current tool at hand is working just fine, so that's good. The current tool at hand being, of course, a paper towel holder over the backside of the fucking laptop to try and kill whatever amount of the fan spinning that I can. Seems to be doing a better job. So I got a pizza in the oven. I've got to fix my hair. Oh yeah. Yep. That's right. I ain't got a straightened hair. I'm wearing whatever the fuck I want in this motherfucker, as my boy LD would say. He's not really my boy. I just really am a big fan of his music. That's what people say. They say my boy. You know, they're just really a big fan of the music. You guys know what I mean? Alright. Right? Right? Of course. Of course I'm right. Still trying to minimize that sound of that damn laptop. It's quite frustrating. Hopefully that will help. Hopefully this contraption that I've built will both help and also not fry my laptop. That would be great also. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 minutes, we are going to be talking bluntly about the news in cannabis. We are just about pieced together here. Very good. Down a little bit more. Okie dokie. Artichokes. Thanks for fucking hanging tight, or if you just skipped ahead, thanks for doing that. I know sometimes you come through these streams after they've streamed. That's okay. That's the function. It's why the shit's archived. How cool is that? So, all right, as you can see, there's been a couple little quick format changes. I've got the news right here. But we're also going to stream the chat window down here this round just to see how that works. So if you're watching and you're wanting to say something, please do right here or wherever the fuck on your screen it is. Wherever it lives. Right here probably. So, I'll take a puff off this blunt. Woo! Get this shit started. Started, folks. All right, please do leave comments, though. If you got ideas or constructive criticism, I mean, if you're just a troll, I'll ignore you anyway. So good luck with that. But, you know, if you're somebody with a good idea, or if you think the format sucks, or if you think that, you know, like you don't like this guy right here or something, I don't know. Whatever constructive criticisms you might have, please leave. Not the channel, I mean, leave them in the comment section of the chat bot. Whew, good grief, folks. I do love cannabis. That's this right here. We all see it moving right here, right? Right. Okay. So, apparently there's now a strain for feeling like a day at the spa. Let's see what that's all about. According to Bloomberg, smiling millennials seek packaging, talk of personal journeys. Canadian pot companies are revving up the marketing. Okay, so yeah, that's to be expected. Something that I've noticed as I've started to get involved in learning about business in the world today is that we are inundated with advertising. First of all, fuck you, Bloomberg. But we are definitely moving in more towards an experience and attention-based market. So less about the product and what experience the product can give you to hold your attention. So that's a neat little sub-tagline here about sleek packaging, personal journeys, revving up the marketing in Canadian pot markets. Wow. Afria Incorporated in Canada is worth $2.5 billion, neat fact. And they are kicking out new branding called Sun-Grown Cannabis, demystifies cannabis and allows current novice users alike to enrich their cannabis journey. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So not nearly as interesting as the tagline said. I don't think they're going to tell us specifically which strain makes you feel like you're having a day at the spa, though I would expect the illustration there is what I'm talking about, and that is, it's more of an attention and experience-based market. You know, I worked at a restaurant. I was having trouble. Not a lot of people coming through, not a lot of business on like, you know, big nights on like Fridays and Thursdays and Saturdays, where you have a lot of people, you know, it's their weekend, it's their time to go out. And part of the problem is they didn't know about us. So on the more off nights of the week, nights when there wasn't a lot of events going on, we would host things like speed dating or wine and chocolate pairings or just events, experiences. Okay. And people bored on a Tuesday, get off work at 7 o'clock or driving by, they see there's an event happening at our spot. Come on in, have a great time with the speed dating or with the, excuse me, have a great time with the speed dating or the chocolate pairing or whatever, and then they go about their lives. But then Saturday comes, and they're out with all their friends, and they're all saying, hey, where can we get a drink and a pizza? That's awesome. Oh, shit, Tuesday I was at this joint, Lincoln Park. Had great pizza, great drinks, and they do really fun little events. You guys got to come check it out with me. Bam. Next thing you know, our Saturdays and Sundays and Fridays are starting to pick up the pace, starting to kick a little ass and take a couple of names. I'm just going to adjust that there because it somehow got bumped when I was moving stuff and fixing the buffering on that sound. So it's, you know, it's a very much an experience and an attention-based market. You know, so this is the same kind of thing Gary Vee is talking about. He's always talking about audience building. And you're like, I sell fucking mattresses. What do I need to build an audience for? You need to build an audience because it's an attention-based market. That's where we're going. The millennials are definitely in the attention-based world. It's what kind of an experience can you provide me to hold my attention till I buy your shit? Or what kind of shit can you sell me that will give me an experience that will just hold my attention in general? Because I'm fucking bored and have an extremely, extremely quick attention span. So what else are we looking at? The plan to save California's legendary weed from big cannabis. Interesting. I'm personally of the opinion that California's homegrown cannabis culture is not going to go anywhere, and it certainly will not be taken over by big cannabis, as they're calling it. My conception there is this. California is home to entire growing communities. Okay, I don't mean neighborhoods or small groups of friends who like to grow. I mean, I can think of at least 3 towns where the number one source of income for everybody is cannabis. If the fucking cannabis trade stopped in certain parts of the Hidden or Emerald Triangles, there are entire towns that would go under. Grocery stores would fail. Banks would fail. Fucking community centers would fail. It would all go down because there would be no cash in that neck of the woods. And most likely what would happen, of course, is meth would take back over, because that's what used to happen in those places before medical cannabis was legal. And growers could grow pot and claim that shit as agriculture on their taxes. So the size and scope of the California's legendary Big Bud culture is significantly larger than Nevada's, Colorado's, Oregon's, or Washington's. Not to say that there were not communities in those states that are dependent on cannabis. I'm sure there are, but the number of cities and towns and communities in the state of California that just wouldn't be right now if it wasn't for the hundreds and hundreds of pounds of grass that they push right out of their fucking front yards. And I'm talking about individual growers here having hundreds of pounds, not the communities. You know, the communities, thousands and thousands of pounds. I know places in California right now where you can get a pound for $800 any time of the year. That's not an exaggeration. I'm not bragging, and no, I won't hook you up. I'm just simply saying that exists. That's how big the homegrown cannabis market in California is. Whew. Well, in states like Nevada, Colorado, and Washington, we had scares. In the beginning, was there enough weed for the state? California has enough weed for its state and several others. Okay, if California stopped growing pot on the homegrown level, New York City would be going, how the fuck are we going to get high? I mean, fuck, even the cartels prefer to grow in California. They might get their coke from Bolivia, but that fucking weed is coming from Humboldt. I mean, Christ, you can't even find shitty South American Mexi brick weed anymore. Like, shit, I'd like a hook on that. I would like to taste some straw-packed bud again. Not really. To me, it's, you know, just silly that they even need to think about how to save California's legendary weed from big cannabis. I mean, I don't think that's really an issue. What the fuck is going on here with all this? Wired. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on here? Well, apparently we can't read that article. Well, fuck all that then, I guess. Sorry, guys. I want to do that one, but I'm not going to sit here and sign up for bullshit or try and subscribe to Wired magazine just so that I can get 2 sentences that make sense out of them. Nice. We got a new drug made of cannabis that's going to get backing from the FDA. That's pretty interesting and good news. See if Bloomberg fucks us in the mouth like the last one. No? Okay, excellent. Experimental medication that could become the first drug derived from marijuana approved in the U.S. Treatment maker, UK company GW Pharmaceuticals, provided substantial evidence of the effectiveness. That is great. The medication would treat seizures associated with 2 rare forms of epilepsy, typically affecting children. Oh, guys, that is good news. I don't know about you, but anytime that we can prove that cannabis is not only medically effective, but safe enough for children, it's a fucking boon for our industries and the future of cannabis and its culture in this country, and not to mention probably the world, since we do have a tendency to set standards for medicine in a lot of ways in this country, at least historically. I mean, I realize now because pharmaceutical and medical companies have branched internationally, it's not really about what country you're in as much as how much fucking federal backing or corporate backing you have, but I digress. It's good news to see positive fucking weed stories. That's all I'm saying. Hemp is the multi-billion-dollar cannabis opportunity few have heard about. I don't know where the fuck you've been in this century if you have not heard about cannabis or hemp or CBD for that matter. We got to take a quick blunt rolling intermission so I can check my pizza, folks. This is just more fun than my screen in the back. Oh yeah. Pizza is coming along nicely, folks. It's not DiGiorno, by the way. It's Freshetta. Y'all want to know why? It's not a paid advertisement, but Freshetta is better. Like, that little old lady in the 90s was objectively right. It's just better. It's just a fact. I'm not trying to pull anybody's strings here, but it's an objective fact. By the way, let me remind you, I am streaming now the chat. So, yo, is there anybody out there? Yep, you know what I mean? So, multi-billion-dollar cannabis opportunity few have heard of is the hemp industry. I'm pretty sure anybody watching this show is familiar with what hemp is, how it's a billion-dollar industry, the CBD sourcing, not to mention the textiles. Hemp's a great fucking industry to get into also. That $100 million could soon be going back to American farmers and businesses thanks to recent introduction of Hemp Farming Act of 2018. Hey, that's cool. Mitch McConnell. I forget which state he's from. That sounds like, is that from Michigan? I don't know. It's all bouncing around too fast. Kentucky. Well, cool. Excuse me. Bipartisan group of senators support legalize hemp as an agricultural commodity and remove it from the list of controlled substances. Oh, the good news in weed this world, folks. I don't know what we did to get so lucky. Let's hope that this bill passes. It's not the first time that they've attempted. Looks like they're on, Jesus, attempt number 6. But hey, let's have some fucking hope, guys. Let's be hopeful. Let's cross our fingers and let's get hemp flowing through the paper factories of this country. Wouldn't that be nice? We could save some trees, kill some birds, and get stoned. Oh, come on, guys. That's a good one. I'm not going to kill any birds. Jesus. Cannabis reform is needed, but it cannot ignore the risk to young minds. Y'all, let me tell you, can we study it first? Before y'all just go fucking making assumptions that it's bad for young minds, can we study it first? How about we do that? How about we pick up where we left off in like the 1920s and study it a little bit? Give it to some kids with the fucking video cameras, see what happens. I'm just saying, you know, come on. Can we study it? I mean, Jesus Christ. You would think 50, okay. You go Joe Pesci for a second. You would think that it's lifelong, or it's 3,000, 6,000 year history is being used on record in human history. We could see an objective fact here. Cannabis does not have a negative effect on the mind. Now, I will say we have developed a stereotype, a cultural stereotype of the stoner of being a low IQ kind of individual. Those of us who actually smoke this shit know that's about as true a stereotype as the black guy running out the back of the fucking store with a TV on his shoulders. Okay? We know that objectively one does not denote the other. Now, are there fucking dumb shits who smoke weed? Make the rest of us look bad? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes. Yes, there are. There's lots of dipshits that make us look fucking stupid. Going to work too high to fucking take an order. You know, don't be wrong, folks. Know your body, know your drugs. If you find yourself impaired in any way while smoking weed, don't go out and do shit that requires responsibility. You know, everybody's body's different. I understand that. But I've still yet to see or hear anybody ever in my life say they or someone they knew or someone they knew's cousins knew a friend who was too high and crashed their fucking car. Not saying it never happened. Simply saying I've never fucking heard of it. I cannot fathom the number of stories I've heard in which the story went, I was drunk and crashed. Whether it was a bicycle or a fucking car. Heard stories of people crashing. I've seen people too drunk to sit down, folks. Okay, I've never seen somebody so impaired on weed they couldn't sit. It's not a reality. That's not a real thing. Cannabis reform is needed, but cannot ignore the risk to young minds. Well, why don't you fucking prove to me with a scientific study and a graph that there's a risk to young minds first? Then we can discuss it as an element of our reform. Okay? Okay. You know, the same kind of thing with guns. Can we first look at all of the actual facts, not just this many people are killed by guns every year? Okay, well, how many people are saved by guns every year? Oh, exponentially more. That's fucking flabbergasting. I never knew that. Now I know that. You can look it up. I'm not here to teach. I'm just here to preach, folks. Bam. So my point is this. Can we just get a full fucking spectrum of information and then start discussing reform? Let's not just make the assumption. Because, I mean, what are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying? We're saying, well, we've been wrong about cannabis and the war on drugs and the egg and the frying pan and shit. You know, maybe we were wrong about that. Maybe we should reform the way that we look at cannabis. But well, you know the part that we said about how it's going to destroy the lives of children? That's definitely still true. I don't think so. I think we need to take a step back and actually assess the reality, all the facts, and then dive into the reform. I just... That's just frustrating to me. All right, we'll go back to the news. Craft breweries of cannabis micro business talks heat. Oh, wait, hold on. The craft breweries of cannabis. Micro business talks heat up at Lake Tahoe. Okay. It's hard because there's no real clear punctuation involved in any of these headlines, so sometimes you got to look at them twice. Cannabis industry workers are arguing the City Council of South Lake Tahoe to allow micro businesses. It's a model some are describing as the craft breweries of cannabis. Our contributors, Caleb, somebody, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to listen because I don't want to get with copyright strike, but state micro business license authorizes operators for a minimum of 3 cannabis-related activities, manufacturing, retail, and cultivation under just one permit. All aspects must be housed on one property. The cultivation limited less than 10,000 square feet. Holy shit, this is the fucking coolest thing I think I've ever read. How fucking neat is that? Are we talking Nevada or California side? Oh, South Lake Tahoe. Is that a fucking actual town? I'm not that familiar with the Tahoe area. So, don't think I'm a fucking idiot. I just really don't know. Yeah, there is a South Lake Tahoe city of. Okay. Cool. California side. Still, that's really close to home for us Nevadans. So that is a very neat idea. And fuck, man, if they get that passed, that's where you'll see me next. I've already got like 10 micro business ideas that I could fucking probably afford a license for. How cool is that? Israel's together signs deal to grow cannabis in foreign country. That's kind of trippy but neat. Let's see what that's all about. Israelis together said on Tuesday it plans to grow up 25 acres of medical cannabis in a foreign country in a deal that could bring annual sales of 75 to 300 million, depending on the size of each harvest. They didn't name the country. Well, yeah, it's obviously America. First crops will be ready the first quarter of 2019, the company said. Holy shit. Okay, that is fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Now, before anybody gets upset or starts talking shit. I don't give a fuck what country these people are from, okay? I don't give a shit. Israel, Russia, Germany, England, I don't care where you're from, okay? And of course, it's speculation, but the logic dictates America has the most places where you can legally grow cannabis and sell it. We have the most land to do it. 25 acres is a lot of fucking land to grow on. And as far as I know, California is still the only state where you can grow medically outdoors and sell it. So I'm guessing they're going to sell in California and produce in California. What's crazy is that they're going to take all of the profits from that and siphon it into another country. So like they'll still probably have to pay the taxes here, but all of the profits, all of the end game money is going back somewhere else. This is the problem that we have with companies like Nike going to Japan or China and making all of their fucking shoes for pennies on the dollar. And then, well, I mean, if they were to do it exactly the same, they'd be selling it back to the Chinese people at a fucking massively inflated price. But since you can't transport our product back and forth, they have to sell it here. But the point is that the people of Japan or China are not greatly benefited by the sale of a fucking $80 shoe that they got paid $4 to make and $2 to export. Let me check that pizza again. So we got this company from Israel, or you know, it'll be a company that's owned by an Israeli special interest group who's going to sell weed in our country, grow weed in our country, and then ship the money back somewhere else. Now, frankly, I can't be against Nike doing it to the Chinese if I'm totally okay with them doing it with our weed, right? Now, to be fair, from the sounds of it, at some point I probably will walk into one of these Israeli fucking weed stores, buy some of their weed, review their whole process, and find myself, you know, interacting with these people in the future. Because I can't imagine anything's going to come to stop this. It's not illegal from as far as I can tell. And, I mean, you know, again, it's not like we don't do it with just about every freaking industry in this country. I mean, half the stuff in America that's made in America was really only assembled here. You know, a good majority of the pieces were made somewhere else, manufactured somewhere else. But if you're right, if you put it together here in this country, then it can be, you know, labeled as made in America. I don't know. I'm not like pissed off about it. I'm just like, forgive me, I had to take a bite. I'm starving. I just find it crazy that we've got a company that's going to we got a company that's going to possibly be using the United States or potentially Canada. The reason that I say still possibly the United States, despite they're selling the oil to a Canadian company, is there's a few Canadian companies that owns operations in the United States as well. So, you know, it still could be grown and manufactured here. Although Canada as well is potential. Just, I think it's interesting and kind of crazy because it looks like this company is going to pull a Nike with weed. You know, and this is one of the things that a lot of people with recreational legalization were afraid of and are concerned with. And we've even seen articles in the news today, is this concern with big cannabis taking over. That right there is a big cannabis kind of deal. Okay. Major cannabis player sees Florida sales surge over 250 and are going to acquire 75% ownership in a Massachusetts deal. Who's this? What's happening here? Let's find out. Why not say which fucking company? This, I swear to God. Here we go. A Canadian-based medical marijuana company announced that it recently got a shitload of revenue in Florida. That's a nice follow-up to the last one, just to prove my point. Canadian companies own shit in the United States and are producing and selling. So I guess they've already been doing it. I'm getting all excited about the Israeli deal, and there's already companies doing it. Admittedly, I guess it's just interesting to see it across the ocean, I guess, like we do. Liberty Health Sciences is the name of the company. Excellent. So if you're trading in Canada stocks, that's what you got right there. Right there, folks. So they're booming in Florida. Florida just recently went medical not too long ago. Looks like they're going to take over ownership of another company in Massachusetts. That's this conglomeration of fucking cannabis guys. That's insane to me. Pennsylvania to make whole plant cannabis flower available to patients. About fucking time. About time, Pennsylvania. A couple of counties and states that only allow like concentrates, edibles, or synthetics. But nice. Nice. Qualified patient program currently permits only oils and concentrates. Yeah. Hooray. Hooray. Good for you, Pennsylvania. Light it up, fire it up, get a bong, get it cold. Taste that fucking weed, folks. Taste it. Get your taste on. How exciting. Aurora to build new cannabis operation in Medicine Hat, Atlanta. Alta. I just can't read. Well, looks like something in Colorado where they're going to build a new cannabis grow lab. That's great. Good for them. Oh, I see. Nope. Aurora is the name of the company. Medicine Hat. ALT, what is that? Okay, Alberta. This is Canadian news. Sorry, guys, I am not a Canadian, geography expert by any means, so bear with me there. Ziggy Marley, grow your own orgain cannabis. Or grow your own orgain cannabis? Is that a fucking typo, or is that really what that says? Yeah, organ should be organic. And yeah, good for you, Ziggy Marley. I agree. Definitely best to grow organic. What is NSW? That's what I love about YouTube. I can eat a pizza. What you gonna say? What you gonna say, huh? Nothing. Jesus Christ. My account at news.com Australia. Not gonna pay you fucking people. Sorry. That's insane. The amount of times that I come across an article where they're just like, hey, you need to sign up for a month-long or a year-long subscription to view this one article. Don't they know how the internet works? Oh, there's a free 420 event hosted by Melissa Etheridge at Denver's Church of Cannabis. If you're in that neck of the woods on 420, it looks like that's going to be a place to be. So check that out. That's cool. How to talk to kids about cannabis use. Oh, I could talk for hours about how to talk to cannabis use about kids. That's really easy. In fact, I don't even have to talk for hours. Here's what you tell them. You tell them the goddamn truth because your kids aren't fucking stupid. When are people going to start respecting their children's intelligence? Fuck. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Let's see here. San Bernardino again is sued over its cannabis laws. Cannabis is fueling one of the best runners in America. Yep, that's not a surprise. Friendlier feds changed the game for cannabis stocks. That's good news, folks. Less restrictions, more cannabis trading. Means bigger operations, lesser prices. Measure zero invalid. Catherine Redmond. Okay. So San Bernardino is one of the counties where they're not letting people set up shops for recreational sale, and they're getting their fucking asses sued over it because people are like, "No, we're Californians, fuck you." Sleep group opposes medical cannabis for sleep apnea. Not gonna lie, I kind of feel like smoking anything when you have sleep apnea, maybe not a smart idea. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but it just seems like that's probably not the best medicine. I don't know. Maybe edibles, though. There's a coalition forming for cannabis advocates in Lompoc. Same kind of thing, it sounds like. Second Cup Ltd. is coffee and cannabis. My guess this one's got to be in Washington or Colorado or Canada. Second Cup recently announced 50-50 partners. North Channel. Yep, Canadian. Cool. Second Cup is kind of like a little Canadian Starbucks, it looks like. And they're going to start pairing up with some weed dealers. How fucking nifty is that? Kill it, Second Cup in Canada. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the news for the rest of the world on cannabis. And by the rest of the world, I mean just pretty much North America. I think that's because that's what Google knows I'm in. But, you know, whatevs. That's where my demographic is also. So, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to leave you guys with the rolling a blunt gifts, because that's just more fun. Thanks again. Tune in tomorrow. We'll do some more. We'll keep ourselves apprised of the news in the cannabis world. Have a good night.